Greetings. Now is the time and place for a meeting of the Beaverton Planning Commission. If you would like to speak during the visitor portion of the agenda or provide testimony on an agenda item, please use the raised hand feature in your Zoom menu bar. If calling in, press 9 to alert the chair that you would like to speak. For the record, I will do a roll call to verify which commissioners are participating this evening. So far, we have Commissioners Glenwinkle, Lawler, and Winter. Let the record show that Chair Nye and Commissioner Ellis are excused and absent from the meeting. At this time, Commissioner Call is also absent. The visitor section of the agenda is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on a non-agenda issue or item. Anyone wishing to speak should indicate this to staff and wait for your name to be called. Does anyone wish to address the Planning Commission on a non-agenda issue? Staff has stated that we do not have any visitors today. So we are now at Commission Communications. Commission, are there any communications today? I see none. So we will swiftly move on to staff communications. Staff, are there any communications today?
Hi, this is Brian Martin. I'm the Long Range Planning Manager for the city. The only thing I would mention is that last night the council approved the parking code changes that'll remove all minimum parking requirements. So that's just a little bit of news for you because you were definitely involved in that process. Otherwise, we have no announcements.
All right, thank you, Brian. All right, so we will move on to new business. The first item on the agenda is the application for LU 42023-00247, the Housing Needs Analysis Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, case number CPT A 42023-00245. The Planning Commission's decision to recommend adoption of a text amendment must be based on consideration of the statewide planning goals and administrative rules adopted under ORS Chapter 197, applicable federal or state statutes or rules, and applicable plans and rules adopted by Metro and the city's comprehensive plan, including the Beaverton Comprehensive Plan Section 1.5.1. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these approval criteria or other criteria in the comprehensive plan that the speaker believes to apply to the application. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to allow the Planning Commission and other interested parties an opportunity to respond to the issue may preclude an appeal to Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Anyone who submits written comments or gives oral testimony has standing to appeal this decision. State and local law require commissioners to make certain disclosures. To these ends, the following questions will be asked. Does any commissioner have a potential or actual conflict of interest? I guess I'll go down the list. Commissioner Glenwinkle?
No, I do not.
Commissioner Lawler?
No, I do not.
Commissioner Winter?
No.
And I do not have any conflict either. Does any member of the audience wish to challenge the right of any commissioner to participate in this hearing? Let the record show no response. The order of the public hearing tonight will be as follows. City staff will give a presentation followed by commissioners' questions of staff. Then members of the public in support of the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. Then members of the public opposed to the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. And then members of the public who are neither in support nor opposed will then have 5 minutes to speak. The Planning Commission will then hear any final comments from staff. We will now begin with the staff presentation.
Wait 1 moment while I share my screen. Okay. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Jenna Hughes. I'm an associate planner, and I'm also joined tonight by Brian Martin, Long Range Planning Manager. The proposal before you tonight is the Housing Needs Analysis Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, CPTA for 2023-00245. The city is the applicant. In your packet, you should have a staff report dated July 12th, as well as the proposed amendments for Volume 1 of the Comprehensive Plan and the Housing Needs Analysis report. The Housing Needs Analysis is a component of the Housing Beaverton project, which also consists of a housing production strategy intended to identify actions for the city to take to provide needed housing over the next 20 years. City staff worked with a consultant team led by APG-MIG to conduct the Housing Needs Analysis, which is a comprehensive study of housing needs, buildable lands, and potential policies and strategies to address current and future housing needs in Beaverton. The Housing Needs Analysis report was reviewed by both the Planning Commission and City Council in April, and the report was finalized and sent to the state in May to satisfy state grant requirements. The proposed amendments were reviewed by the Commission in June and incorporate the Housing Needs Analysis into Beaverton's comprehensive plan. After tonight's hearing, the City Council is scheduled to consider adoption of the Housing Needs Analysis amendments on September 5th, and the housing production strategy by resolution on September 19th. The applicable approval criteria for this text amendment is in the comprehensive plan, section 1.5.1. The findings are in the staff report beginning on page 6. The housing needs analysis findings are required to respond to statewide planning goal 10 and applicable administrative rules. Staff finds that the proposed amendment meets all applicable criteria for approval. Exhibit A includes the proposed amendments for Volume 1 of the Comprehensive Plan, which proposes changes to chapters 3 and 4. Under the land use element chapter, a couple changes are proposed that update the terminology used to describe single detached housing and housing with 2 or more units. This would ensure that the language is consistent with the development code, as well as terminology we've been using since the adoption of the Housing Options Project in 2022. Under the housing element chapter, changes are proposed throughout the chapter to incorporate the language, data, and findings that are in the most recent Housing Needs Analysis report. The Housing Needs Analysis found that by 2042, Beaverton's population will grow by 19,000 more people and will need over 9,000 more homes in order to meet this need. The greatest unmet needs include affordable rental and ownership housing, housing for larger households, accessible housing, and preventing displacement. The report also describes that a smaller percentage of single detached homes will be needed in the future, and there will be a growing need for more middle housing types such as townhomes, cottage clusters, and plexes. The full report, included as Exhibit B, will be added to Volume 2 of the Comprehensive Plan, which will replace the previous Buildable Lands Inventory and Housing Strategies report from 2015. That concludes staff presentation. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission conduct the public hearing and receive all public testimony relating to the proposal, consider the public testimony and the facts and findings presented in the staff report, deliberate on policy issues and other issues identified by the Commission or the public, and recommend approval of LU for 2023-00247 Housing Needs Analysis Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, case number CPTA for 2023-00245 to the City Council with proposed language as written in Exhibits A and B. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Are there any questions of staff with regard to the proposed application? I don't think I can see everyone. Oh, Commissioner Lawler.
Just a point of clarification. I noticed on our agenda, it has also an additional item, CPMA 32023-00184. I was just wondering if is that no longer relevant to this proposal?
I'm not sure why there's no map amendment relevant to this proposal. It's just a text amendment, so that might have been just a typo on the agenda, I'm guessing.
And just again, as a matter of clarification, I've never had the explanation of now why do we have two different case file numbers? Could you maybe help me understand the difference between the LU case file and then the CPTA case file? And do they both pertain to this application?
Sure. It's a new thing that we have two application numbers since we've transitioned into an electronic permitting system that just gives us two numbers. Essentially, the LU number, the land use number is the parent file, and then underneath that is the child file number, which is that comprehensive plan text amendment. So it just means if there were additional related amendments, maybe a zoning map amendment or change, that could still go under that parent file. But in this case, we're just doing the comprehensive plan text amendment.
But they both pertain to this proposal.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And now maybe more of a meaty matter. I was just, in reading over the materials and the goals that are listed in the plan, a lot of those seem, how do I say this? I guess kind of contrary to market trends and kind of assume a lot of, I think, initiative by the city or other public agencies to ensure certain housing types are promoted, rather than what we have seen in the past. So I guess I'm kind of curious what the Planning Commission's role will be in ensuring that these different housing types are, how we make decisions on housing types in the future. I mean, will there be a lot of code amendments that are still that will incorporate more directive policies that then we would apply to applications? I'm trying to figure out how you take this kind of 10,000 foot level and apply it on Planning Commission decisions the types of decision we face.
Sure. Yeah, great question. Along with that housing needs analysis, there is that accompanying housing production strategy, which has a bunch of strategies, including code amendments that we know we need to make related to housing, allowing for more housing types that we don't typically see a lot of in the city, like single room occupancy housing and more accessible housing, multi-generational housing. So we'll be taking a closer look at that in the years to come, how we can update our code in order to incorporate a lot of these policy goals, especially around requirements or incentives to promote more accessible and multi-generational housing and affordable housing. So there will be future code updates that will help implement these policies. And then, when you are making decisions about projects, you can also go back into those goals and policies to see, do they align with the intent of the goals.
Okay. Yeah, it's I did read that. I think it's Exhibit C. There was a memo in there of some very specific recommendations, and so that's where I thought maybe the rubber's going to hit the road is what types of policies then are going to be incorporated into our code. And just another general question. Again, it just kind of made me scratch my head. What types of interventions could be considered when you're looking to forestall something like gentrification and displacement?
What types of
interventions, or what kind of policies could the city consider to kind of encourage or discourage gentrification and displacement?
I think that's something that we intend to explore in future projects, but I think a lot of just producing more housing and more affordable housing helps take the pressure off in terms of displacement risk. So that's a really big piece of it. But we'll definitely need to do more more analysis for future projects.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of the areas where we're most likely to face these issues are also sometimes the most transit friendly places. And so there's there's some like downtown area, for example. So there's going to be some, I guess, checks and balances that we're going to have to consider in the future. So.
Yeah, and that also makes me think of another strategy that's included in the housing production strategy, which is manufactured housing preservation zones. So that's another anti-displacement measure that's included in the housing production strategy document.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Right, I'm not seeing any. Okay, so we are now at the public testimony portion of our meeting. We will call for testimony in groups, starting with those in favor of the application, and those in opposition to the application, and those neither in favor nor in opposition. So now it's time for testimony in favor of the application. For those viewing via Zoom webinar, please communicate by using the raise hand feature in your Zoom menu bar. If calling in, please press 9 to alert the chair that you would like to speak. Do we have anyone? I am hearing that the staff has stated that we do not have anyone wishing to speak in favor. So we will move to public testimony in opposition to the application. Again, for those viewings via Zoom webinar, please communicate by using the raise hand feature in your Zoom menu bar, or if calling in, press 9 to alert the chair that you would like to speak.
Chair, may I interrupt for a minute?
Yes,
Robin
please.
McIntyre, Assistant City Attorney. I just noticed that Commissioner Akal just popped in. So if we could note for the record that she is in attendance at this meeting, that would be great.
Right. Thank you, Robin. And hello, Commissioner Akal. Lovely to see you.
Hello.
All right, so staff has stated that we do not, back to public testimony, staff has stated that we do not have any public testimony in opposition. So we will move on to those who are neither in favor nor opposed to speak. For those viewing via Zoom webinar, please communicate using the raise hand feature in your Zoom menu bar, or if calling in, press 9 to alert the chair. Do we have any? And it appears that we have none. So with that, we will move on to final staff comments. Does staff have any final comments?
No comments. Thank you all for your time tonight.
All right, thank you, Jenna. With final comments completed, I will close the public hearing, and as is standard procedure, I will randomly poll commissioners to state their conclusions to the application. Commissioner Lawler.
Well, I could just say that in reviewing all the background documents, I think that the comprehensive plan amendment, text amendment captures those very thoroughly. So I am in support of the application.
Thank you. Commissioner Glenwinkle.
I agree with Commissioner Lawler. I think it's been well studied and well put together by staff. So I am in support.
Cool. Commissioner Winter.
Yeah, this is a pretty standard boilerplate document put together very conscientiously by staff at the request of the state. Not the first time, won't be the last time. And to address Commissioner Lawler's concerns, these are more aspirational goals than pedal to the metal street goals. Nice to be able to incorporate it, but just convincing the development community to build tiny houses is going to be tough.
And Commissioner Akal.
I missed the initial meeting, but I've read all the materials and I'm in support of it.
Chair, I may also interject, because Commissioner Call missed the very beginning when the commissioners made their disclosures. If we could just confirm for the record, Commissioner Call, whether you have any potential or actual conflicts of interest on this matter.
I do not.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. And in speaking to comments, I am in agreement with my fellow commissioners and am also in support of the changes. So with final comments completed, I guess we move on. So is there a motion on this matter? Who would like to take a stab?
I guess I will. I move that we recommend approval of case files LU 4-2023-00247, the Housing Needs Analysis Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, CPTA 42023-00245, based on the facts and findings found in the staff report, July 12th, 2023, and the exhibits attached thereto, and forward a recommendation to City Council to adopt the proposed language as found in those documents.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I will second.
So Commissioner Lawler moves and Commissioner Glenwinkle second. Is there any discussion? A vote will be taken by roll call. When your name is called, please say yay or nay. Commissioner Akal.
Yay.
Commissioner Winter.
Aye.
Commissioner Glenwinkle.
Aye.
Commissioner Lawler.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. The motion passes unanimously. The Planning Commission's recommendation will be memorialized in land use orders that will be provided to all parties that provided oral and written testimony. The Planning Commission's recommendation will be forwarded to City Council. Council will hold a hearing and make the final decision on this application. And with that, we are adjourned at 6:54 p.m.